Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well and staying safe during this time. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Like I said, thank you so much for checking me out. If you haven't done so, please make sure to hit that subscribe button just right below the video. Cool, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And if you're returning, welcome back. Thanks again for your support. I truly do appreciate having you here.
This is from John Deaton's law firm. They're tweeting out a Rosalind Layton article this morning from the executive order. She's not too happy about the executive order. Says, and this is a quote from her, let's hope that the cryptocurrency trial of the century ends with the judge's public decision rather than parties settling in private. It says she's not happy with the executive order. I retweeted that. I said, I take Brad Garlinghouse at his word that he won't settle without clarity for XRP. And I believe that. I think that he knows it's pointless without that. Now, she goes into how she thinks that it's basically the executive order is just a mishmash of go get all these agencies to work together, kind of a big nothing sandwich. I kind of get that, but I wanted to show you the part down here. Ripple case, a settlement is not enough. Ironically, I'm going to say EO for executive order instead of saying it every time. The EO increases the importance of landmark federal court battle going to Southern District of New York between the SEC and Enterprise Blockchain Ripple. With all the sweeping arguments put forth by the SEC in its complaint, the scrappy, brilliant defense put on by Ripple, the questions now go well beyond whether Ripple and its two senior executives violated Section 5. The SEC's assertion of unlimited power in the absence of regulatory clarity is what's really on trial. A settlement isn't the right outcome in the case if it leaves the government unchastened, uncontained, and free to attack again. Moreover, class action against the SEC also needs to play out. Thousands of retail XRP holders with no connection to Ripple were needlessly harmed by the SEC's inexplicable behavior. The enforcement action filed by Jay Clayton, SEC chairman, last day in office, dealt a 1-2 punch by crashing the value of the third largest cryptocurrency in the world, which had been trading in the secondary markets since 2013, and then locking up consumers' holdings when exchanges suspended XRP trading for fear SEC reprisal. Court evidence suggests that consumers lost as much as $15 billion as a result of the SEC enforcement. Others have had their assets padlocked for over a year. Represented by John Deaton, over 65,000 of them were granted friend of the court status by the judge, who confessed she found no judicial precedent of investors seeking to intervene in a case as defendants. Some have understandably been clamoring for Ripple to settle at any cost so they can get relief, but the SEC's capriciousness in court and public has needlessly dragged out the case and raised the stakes for all. Chairman's Conquest, the SEC's 2020 complaint, alleges that all distributions of the XRP since 2013 have been unregistered securities transactions. The agency argued that the token itself is a security and that its open source decentralized ledger has no other utility but as an investment contract in one company, and that this was evident to all. This abruptly departs from Howey 1946 Supreme Court test for determining a security. Ripple's defense countered that SEC gave no fair notice for 7 years. In fact, Clayton and his hand-picked deputy William Hinman put out a blizzard of contradictory guidance, intentional contradictory guidance, folks. This was all intentional. This was all by design, including filing the Ripple case itself. Make no mistake, These are some bad hombres that did all this, folks. These are not good folks. Ripple documented multiple attempts by many to get a clear answer from the SEC, but to no avail. Current SEC Chairman Gary Gensler's guidance is clear. He wants to crack down on every digital asset, stablecoins, utility tokens, centralized and decentralized ledgers, and he will use every weapon he's got against the industry to expand the agency's turf and lengthen his resume for promotion to Treasury Secretary. He's going to go against all of those except for Ethereum, that is. Correction. Conflicts of interest certainly appear significant with former SEC officials. Clayton's first job after the Ripple case was filed with One River Digital Asset Management, a crypto hedge fund that had made a $1 billion bet exclusively on Bitcoin and Ether shortly before the Ripple case was filed against the main market rival for those tokens at the time, XRP. Deaton and his army of XRP holders have asked Congress to investigate. Hinman reported receiving over $15 million in retirement payments from Simpson Thacher, a firm closely aligned with Ethereum. While he made SEC policy favorable to Ether, he then immediately returned to the firm after leaving the SEC and was signed to a $1 billion fund managed by venture capital investors in Ethereum. A settlement could close the book on these egregious actions and encourage further conflicts. Leadership starts at the top. If the president is not willing to back a coherent framework, there is no reason for his administration minions to do so. With Biden punting and Congress unable to legislate, court is the last stop for justice against a runaway train of regulatory overreach. Let's hope that the cryptocurrency trial of the century ends with the judge's public decision rather than the parties settling in private. And I'll say one thing, folks. It's time to man up. The judge, we've watched the judge give these clowns at the SEC and all the Ethereum stuff. We've watched these judges give them every benefit of the doubt. We've never gone after the judges on this channel, and we're not going to, but it's time for the judges to man up. This isn't even a question. This whole thing is as obvious as the nose on your face. And it's time for these judges to not take the cowardly route and do this in some secretive way. Issue the decision that everybody deserves, the decision that makes sense. Don't do something to try to keep everything in a gray area. Do the right thing. That's all the people have ever wanted, is let us have a level playing field. That's it. Alright, Tom Emmer weighed in. He said he just finished reviewing the executive order. It directs various agencies to study this. But the most interesting thing in his thread is this. Most fortunately, the EO doesn't ask the SEC to weigh in. SEC Chair Gensler has spent the past year intimidating crypto innovators and entrepreneurs with his unproductive regulation by public statement and enforcement action. His input is not critical. I love it. Alright, moving along. Brian Brooks, Tim, at TimR614, give him a follow. He posted this interview with Brian Brooks on CNBC.
Stocks rallied today after President Biden signed an executive order calling on the U.S. government to examine the risks and benefits of crypto. The White House saying in a statement, the United States schools quote, must play a leading role in international engagement and global governance of digital assets consistent with democratic values and U.S. global competitiveness. Joining us now, Brian Brooks, CEO of BitFury, the Bitcoin miner. Brian, takeaways for the industry? Looked like the market liked it.
There's no question the market liked it, and I'll tell you, this is a historic day for the government because this is the first time that the government has not just looked at the risks of crypto, but compared the risks of crypto to the risks of the current system and asked for it to be better. That is a big change.
We just talked to the Commerce Secretary a little bit about it. I think also the notion that the U.S. wants to be competitive when it comes to digital currencies. It's interesting. It's a strong statement in light of what we got from China, which doesn't seemingly want anything to do with it. So what does that look like to you?
It's really interesting, sir. I think a lot of people are taking the wrong lesson from China. So it's true that China banned Bitcoin mining and it banned individuals from investing in cryptocurrencies. But China is pursuing a different blockchain path. China is pursuing the central bank digital currency path, which means the government will build its own blockchain and they will dominate the financial sector for their people. And the alternative, which is being looked at around the world in places like Germany and the United Arab Emirates, Singapore, some of these real growth economies, is they're focused on how do we put financial power back into the hands of users. And I think that's the direction the President's executive order seems to suggest today, which is a very good sign.
What would you list if you were kind of saying, here are the things I feel are most important that eventual regulatory approach not take or take at this point? In other words, what would perhaps the industry most fearful of, or what would do you think be least productive if the government were to, take more aggressive measures?
I think the things that the industry has been most fearful of for a while is that, first of all, the knee-jerk idea that crypto is new and therefore it's risky and bad. And what's really unique about the executive order today is it says it's possible that crypto projects might.
Okay, I'm going to stop there. There's two more parts. I'm not going to play those right now. Go to Tim's thread there and you'll get to see them. Okay, UAE Prime Minister. Our goal is to establish the UAE as a key player in the future of crypto. John Deaton says in the UAE, XRP is not a security, and that is true. Many of you may not remember back on November 2nd of 2021, this article, Saudis, UAE roll out red carpet for crypto as U.S. gives a cold shoulder. Remember, because Mike Novogratz with his stupid jacket was on the stage with Brad Garlinghouse? Look what Brad Garlinghouse said. I think it's clear that the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia wants to be technology and blockchain forward-leaning, Brad Garlinghouse told the Post. This was obvious at the Future Investment Initiative conference. So Brad Garlinghouse, as Gary Gensler and the SEC attack Ripple, he's over there in open arms in the UAE or Saudi Arabia, whichever, both of them. Okay, and so that tells you a lot about where the United States of America is in terms of, I mean, if I didn't know better, or maybe I do know better, we have a government in this country now that almost seems to be trying to kill our economy instead of help it. It's almost as if they're working for some other government instead of our own, and are trying to hurt our country. If I didn't know any better, it almost feels that way. Makes me so mad for my children grow. This whole thing infuriates me because we're talking about our kids' futures, and in my opinion, we've got a bunch of bought and paid for politicians that are just giving the middle finger to the United States of America, and probably a lot of you in other countries, your leaders are probably doing the same thing. It's disgusting. A lot of these people ought to pay for what they've done. Federal Reserve. The reason I just wanted to show you this for one reason. When I got into crypto in 2013, if you told me that by 2022 the Federal Reserve would be tweeting about central bank digital currencies, I would have told you you were out of your mind. TAIG, in JP Morgan's own words, he's tweeting about, this is from some kind of JP Morgan, North American Equity Research. SEC filing a major roadblock, alleging it has independent authority over when to release XRP, talking about XRP being delisted. If the company is able to win the SEC lawsuit and trading resumes on major cryptocurrency exchanges like Coinbase, XRP is poised for significant adoption. JP Morgan knew all along, folks, what was going to go on. They know what the score is. And John Deaton's right here from a tweet he did back in December. The JP Morgan involvement and exactly what that early involvement entailed and who needs to be fully looked into and investigated. And he's tweeting this: JP Morgan was involved in the early conceptual stage of Ethereum. Is it any surprise then that Ethereum's design is fiat-like in that rewards insider quintillionaires who pre-mine millions of Ethereum for themselves? XRP Bart sent me a couple interesting tweets. Russia suspended from Bank of International Settlements. That's a big deal, folks. Goldman to exit Russia in Wall Street's first pullout. And then there's this. Now, who would have thought this, folks? Remember, as I show you this, I want you to remember, I think it was 6 or 9 days before the Bill Hinman speech. I remember Mike Novogratz was on stage and he said that he would bet, was it dimes to donuts, I think he said. He'd bet dimes to donuts that the SEC is going to say Ethereum was a security, but now it's not because it's decentralized or whatever.
I'm your guy. I will keep you posted. I'm your advocate. I'll be back on a daily basis, usually multiple times per day, with these videos to keep you updated with everything going on. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't done so, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Feel free to share any of my videos with your friends, family, social media, or anybody who may care to listen. Thanks so much for your continued support. I'm always here for you. I want to help you through this time. So thank you so much for continuing to choose me. Enjoy your day, stay safe, and I'll catch you again probably in a couple hours. Thanks, everybody. See you later.